Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Wednesday Night Live. Yours truly, Tanya Tomasovich. I'm trying to get the right angle here. All right. With intuitive minds, I already know. How's everybody doing? It's going to warm up. So just wear extra socks. Keep your oven door open after you use it. It's going to warm up. How's everybody doing? Hello, Chantal. I miss you. How's those kitties doing? How's everybody doing? Hi, Tim. Cheers. I'm having tea. Look at my Star Wars cup. Look at it says attack, snack, and then I think this side says protect. So I have to drink some tea because I do a lot of talking and my throat chakra gets activated. All right, so I have been doing a lot of interpersonal shadow work. Shadow work is when we start allowing ourselves to look in those deep, dark areas that kind of sometimes make us feel icky, sometimes make us feel a little inadequate, a little insecure. But if you allow those parts of you, because they are part of you, you have to own who you are. This is our body. This is our body until we expire our body. If you want to live a fulfilling life, sometimes we have to get rid of the dark corners in our life that don't serve our highest good. Somebody asked me, we'll get to cards, but like when I'm on. Somebody asked me, like, how do I do it? How do I do it day after day after day, living this spiritual lifestyle? I call it. That's what I call it. I call it a spiritual lifestyle. You can call it whatever you want. I don't care. It's just easier. It's what I call it. How do I do it? So, and how do I make my decisions? I make my decisions based on what's best for my highest good. And that is not always easy. Hello, Lisa. That is not always easy because ego likes to drive the bus, and ego wants to keep us comfortable, wants to keep us safe, wants to keep us, down the straight and narrow. We don't go left, we don't go right. And sometimes ego needs a little time out. You can't get rid of your ego. Your ego is there to protect you. And it's there to remind you of things that, aren't the best. If we can cohabitate with ego, it becomes a lot easier and a less resistance. So shadow work, that is looking deep within the wounds, going backwards to, childhood issues, childhood trauma. And they say that if you've had any kind of trauma before the age of 8, it can affect your cognitive development, and it can, affect you the rest of your life. You're trying to just be in survival mode. You're trying to just survive instead of thrive. So I've been doing a lot of shadow work about acceptance and what I really, really want. And I've been listening to a lot of Teal Swan. I know there's a lot of controversy about her, if she's legit. So I try to put like all that judgment kind of behind, because what I really like is how she deep dives into the principles that I already practice, but she goes like so deep and gets into like the spiritual science of it. So I really, really like that. And I've been listening to a lot of her videos on how to do shadow work, how to find happiness. So we're going to talk, I have made some notes, and so we're going to pull cards and talk about that. So, and I forgot to mention that every time we do this live, at the end of the live, I will give you a comment word about the subject that we're talking about. And if you comment within, say, like, when you watch it, within that month, I guess, your name will go in for a drawing for a discounted reading from me. So that is still going on. I did not do it last week, but we will start tonight. Okay, so that's like my promo that I did before, and I'm bringing it back. So let's pull a card before I get off on a subject. All right, a subject that, you know, they all relate, but I want to keep somewhat of the topic that I talk about to the cards. So if you follow me, thank you. We have 500 members. Thinking a lot about doing more YouTube videos. So, I created a deck last year, got it published last year, and I'm promoting it this year. And it is from blood, sweat, and tears. I had an injury, and I had some downtime. That's the short version of it. If you want the full version, you'll have to buy the deck. Yeah. So my deck is called Words to Live By. There's 40 cards in anime style. And I used an AI app because I'm not an artist. But I know the AI gets a lot of bad rap. Here's my opinion and my take and my reason why I did AI. I did AI because it's very, very, very expensive to pay an artist. The artist that I reached out to, number one, you don't know where they're from, and you have to send them money. Some of these were from India. Some of them are from Europe. I mean, nothing against those places, but how do I guarantee that my money is going to go there? The artist that I was thinking about working with, she just wanted $200 to $300 per image. And I didn't have that kind of time once to wait for that. I didn't have that kind of money. So I found an affordable AI app. Hello, Nick. And so I used that. Are they exactly the way that I wanted them? No, because AI is a little wonky. But the way that I looked at it and the way that I explain this to people that kind of give me a hard time for using AI is I said, are we perfect? There are wonky things about all of us, because that was the term that somebody used, was wonky. And I said, are we perfect? We all have our wonkiness about us. And some of the, as we do the deck, I'll point out maybe some of the wonkies in here, maybe not. They're beautiful to me. Because they came from my inspiration. They came from my brain, my heart, my blood, sweat, and tears, my experience, my channeling from spirit. And I'm super proud of the way that they turned out. If you're not drawn to the deck, then don't buy it. Buy somebody else's that you're drawn to it. I don't care. I'm not here to make thousands of dollars. This is something that I got inspired to do, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then it happened, and I am supposed to charge an equal, a fair value amount for the product. So I believe $25 is, I think it's very affordable. There's some, more expensive decks out there for less. So, yeah. So, and I just was like, nobody's perfect, and I want the little wonkiness to be there to let people connect with the deck and go, you know, oh, that's kind of messed up. I wonder if she knew that. Yes, I knew that. And I did it on purpose because nobody's perfect and nobody should be. And I don't want to be perfect. So that is my opinion on why I used AI and why I chose to let some of the wonkiness get published. All right. Wonky. All right. So this is for the collective. I'm asking my guides to use me as a conduit. Conduit? You can't do it. I'm asking my guides and spirit in the universe to protect my energy. I don't want to channel anything that doesn't serve our highest good. And so this is for the collective. And I'm not gonna ask a question tonight. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. I'm just feeling like I'm gonna go off into so many different facets anyways. So tonight is just for the highest good. You know, if you didn't have a resolution yet, maybe this will help you. Okay. So this card on top, after I knock 3 times, is going to reveal something, some words of wisdom, some maybe some advice, reveal areas that we need to work on for the collective. It's flow. Didn't we get this last week? I thought we got this card last week. I shuffled them. You guys watched me. Somebody listen here. Oh, maybe we didn't. Okay. Maybe somebody else pulled it because I did Reiki. Okay. So, for instance, look at this card. Her hands are kind of screwed up. And it looks like there's like a Band-Aid across her nose now that I look at it. But I did my best, you guys. I thought it turned out pretty cool. It's not just the image that you can use as a focal point. It's the words, and you're looking at the image, and you're supposed to just kind of let whatever comes forward, you know, in your body and in your mind's eye. All right, let's read. Submerging yourself into the power of purity and allowing it to flow through us is what water can do for us. Even before we are born, we are grown in the water of our mother's womb. When we were young, how fun it was to play in water. Our toys would float. We splashed the water with our hands, but it does not hurt. The warmth of the water soothes our tense muscles and relaxes our minds. When we are older, we enjoy the water to float our bodies, and we feel lighter. We use the water to cook, to clean our house and our bodies. We use water to float our boats so we can fish. Water flows in all of us. It feeds our body, purifies the soul, and relaxes the mind. When we are in our natural flow state, our stagnant energies trapped inside our emotions can leave our body gradually and gracefully. So that last part is where I will channel and speak on. So it says, our stagnant energies trapped inside our emotions can leave our body. So it was really interesting as I'm listening to Teal Swan. She says, hello, Joyce. Yeah, she says, hello, Joyce. Hello, Joyce. That's from me. She said how emotions are like the pathways to shadow work. And when we experience certain emotions, we should listen very, very carefully. Either to any of them, anger, sadness, you know, all those emotions. We need to listen to them because there's information in those emotions. And the emotions are pulling from certain areas, or they're working with certain areas of your body. And your body is storing memories of these emotions of past events. And this is, if you've never done a past life regression session, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. If you can think right now of something going on in your life, it doesn't have to be bad or good, but chances are when you're doing shadow work, it's the negative always seems to be on the forefront. The struggle. I shouldn't say negative. Struggle. The struggle is there on the forefront. And as my husband and I, we become better and better at remembering things about how to look at things, how to look at perspectives when we're doing shadow work. And you basically kind of work with what you're in the moment. Like, okay, so for instance, I'll just use my anxiety. When I had anxiety, I went through, like, I think menopause just like ripped me wide open. I wasn't prepared for the symptoms that were going to affect me the way that they did. It was basically overnight, and they just were debilitating symptoms. And so one of them was anxiety. And because of the menopause, I worked out less and less and less. And because I had more symptoms from the menopause. Hello, Ricky. Ricky? I almost said Reiki. Because of the menopause, there was other symptoms. There was fatigue, and my adrenal glands were compromised, and there was just like joint pain. So I had anxiety and I realized that when I used to work out, that was part of my out from my anxiety. At the end of the day, I would work out, and I stopped. Eventually, there was so much pain in my body and so much dis-ease in my body that I could no longer work out. And I had no energy, for one. I had pain everywhere, and I had zero motivation, and I was just super, super depressed. So I didn't want to work out. So the anxiety was I would say, with the tiredness and the depression, the anxiety probably was the worst. So we're looking at, like, I kept doing my shadow work in the middle of all this. And I'm like, why? Where is this anxiety coming from? I never had this intensified emotions went with the anxiety. So we had to kind of start there and go backwards. And it was basically where I felt it. So you want to ask yourself, like, okay, if you don't know what it is, you want to like ask yourself, where am I feeling it in my body? And I was feeling it in my solar plex. And your solar plex is where you have your self-esteem. So there was all kinds of ego muck going on in there that I had to, like, why am I feeling this way? And there was other emotions and other thoughts. And it was just like, I had to just basically, like, just strip everything down and just look at everything that I'd all my beliefs that I had thought of myself, going back and asking, where am I getting this belief from? Most of it was from, like, when we're raised, our parents. I'm like, where are they getting it from? And some of it was from past lives, because we've done several past lives, and I was, I'll just call it like a witch or priestess in most of them, and I was persecuted and killed in most of my past lives. And so there was this constant ego was just like super, super strong. I had, Reiki practitioners even confirm, like, okay, you have a very, very, very protective ego. And it took a long time I'm going to use the word tame, but to merge with her. I call her a her because it's part of me. To merge with her and to say, hey, like, you're my partner and I'm going to need you. So how about I give you a different job instead of the job that you've been programmed to have thus far? Because unless you even address your ego, unless you even know what your ego is for, chances are you're not going to talk to it you know, like it's someone. And that's all the ego wants. It's a part of us. It's a part of our essence. And once I did that, it was just like, I mean, manifestation started happening. Some of my symptoms almost disappeared and improved eventually. And it was bananas. I was journaling some wild entries and finally getting rid of some of that pain. And yeah, this went on for a while. And once I kind of opened up that portal to my ego, there was more room. Because I always talk about that when we deal with our shit, it raises, you know, and we eventually have to, like, we're making room for more shit to come out. So that is my opinion. That is my experience on shadow work. It's never done. You know, this lifestyle, when you are healing and letting go and surrendering, it's never one and done. Because like I said, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly changing. The last 2 years have changed me totally, completely. There are some things of my essence that have been gone for the last 2 years, and they're finally coming back. And I think I was asking Spirit today, like, okay, so why did I feel so lost for so long and thought, I just don't like myself anymore. I want my bubbly self. I want my fun self. I want that fun, adventurous, childlike Tanya to come back. And it was just because basically that part of Tanya was on pause, I call it, menopause. And I needed to deal with other stuff that was more important than showing the world my star self, my shining the light. And since, like, I talked about this with another friend of mine, she's like, yeah, the light just came on for me, especially from New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. That literally, it was like, it was overnight. I could definitely feel the shift. And as I'm into like the second and the third week of January, it just the momentum is so much there. And I can feel like that old peace coming back that I had before, like, we started this journey. And so that confirms that I feel like some of those things I have finally got. Like, I feel like I finally healed some of those burdens of some of the things that I have done in my past, and, you know, and even some of my past lives. I have, like, cut cords and gotten rid of that and let it go and forgave it, you know, grace and gratitude and all that stuff. So, did I explain what the card meant? Oh, okay. So our stagnant energies trapped inside our emotions can leave our body gracefully and gradually. That's why massages, any type of massage, are very good, because if we don't do that ourselves, and it's hard to get our backs, and it just feels different. You can like totally relax if somebody else is giving you a massage. Massages are great ways to move some of that stagnant energy. Sound therapy is a really good modality for healing and moving that energy. I've had it done. My husband has had it done twice. I've had it done once, and then I'm also getting it done in February. Reiki is also good for moving energy. Getting in water, just getting to feel yourself float is like if you can be in a pool. That's another great way. Exercising, especially if you carry your if you're kind of high strung, we got to get that cortisol out. And that was my problem. I was just harboring all the cortisol with everything in my in my solar plexus. And I think because of the working out and because of the new hormones and stuff, it was just everything just collected in my solar plexus. And that's where I felt it the most in for my anxiety. Comment on here if that's where any of you sorry, I don't want to sound scoldy. I had that scoldy look. please comment on here where you feel your anxiety. Because I feel it in my stomach, like I get nauseous and butterflies and almost like kind of when you drink like too much caffeine, you know how you can get kind of like too bubbly in the belly. That's what it felt like for me, but it was like really, really bad, like super bad. And then it would also like affect my blood pressure. But thankfully, I am not on any meds that I was before. And that was one of the things that I manifested in this last summer, is to get off my antidepressant med. And I did it cold turkey. They say not to do that. They say like don't do that because it can really kind of screw you up. So I was pretty sad for like maybe a good 2 to 3 weeks, but I knew it was time because I was starting to feel worse on it, and I knew that I didn't want to be on this because I just didn't feel myself. And looking back at it now, my husband and I talk about it, and I'm like, he even admitted like, yeah, like you just weren't the same. So I went off mine cold turkey. Talk to your doctor, your practitioner about going off it, a better way. I was supposed to wean, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. So I just went like, I think I went off it a day, and then hello Steph, thanks for watching. If you're new here, I think I did like a day, and then I skipped a day, and then I went like 2 days, and then took it like once or whatever, and then I'm like, this is dumb. I can't remember like when I'm supposed to take it, so I just like did cold turkey. So yeah, so other ways to get your stagnant energy. Oh, I have not done this, but I am interested in doing it. It's like scream therapy. So if you have a spot for it, like, I don't know if you own your own property and you don't have neighbors or whatever, or if you can like, maybe do it inside of your house when nobody's there, or just tell your family, hey, I'm going to do my scream therapy. So if you hear me screaming bloody murder, that's what this is all about. I have heard that is really, really, really good. Especially if we have like, energy caught in our throat chakra. That's good. Of course, journaling is always, you won't, it seems kind of counterintuitive because you're like, well, I'm just writing. Oh, there's science behind pen to the paper. There's a video of mine, and I think it's like, what do we talk? It's about journaling. I don't remember the title of the exact video, but if you go to the Intuitive Minds page and search for journaling or hashtag journaling, there is a video that I talk about the importance and the benefits of journaling. There's also a card in here too about journaling. So that's a way of getting, releasing some of your throat chakra and from your heart chakra, and, everywhere pretty much, because if you have the thoughts in your body and they're connected to an emotion and connected to a feeling, then you can get them out on paper. I speak. That's why I do these lives, because I release my stagnant energy through my throat chakra. I just feel better. If you see me, if I'm walking around this summer and you see me and I'm talking to myself, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm talking to myself, and I'm channeling, or I'm driving. And so if you come across my videos or my TikToks and I'm in my vehicle, that's when it's on. For some reason, when I'm driving or when I'm taking a shower, that's when I'm a conduit. So whatever works for you, find an out. All right. If you're having troubles with that, reach out to me and we can kind of go through some questions and answers to get you started to maybe figure out, what your out would be. And my husband does Reiki too, so we can work together if you'd like a session for that. So reach out. All right. Any questions? Okay. So flow, I guess the topic is energy. We talked We talked about that. Oh, okay. So I'm looking at my stuff. I'm looking at stagnant energies. Is that the topic we're going to talk about? Well, we already talked about the what emotions have information in them. This was just I love learning about this is just life for me, whether you're you know, if you're doing it spiritually or faith-based, or you're just like, you know, super intrigued of all this, it doesn't matter. That there's information, there's like info, like data stored in your emotions. And what this exercise that Teal Swan was promoting was, and I tried this last night, and it was super uncomfortable, and it makes total sense now that I think about it. So I meditate frequently. I try to meditate at least once a week. And so last night, I had just like a spa music track on, and what Teal Swan says is like, get into your meditative state or whatever, sitting, laying down, and we are naturally want to like fidget or like scratch ourselves when we're getting into that meditative state. And I'm like, yeah, I do that all the time. Like I do my restless legs fire up when it's time to meditate. And so I really focused on them last night, and I'm like, sure as shit, my restless legs was like they were kind of bad last night. And I'm like, okay, she said just to let it come forward. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let it come forward. I'm not going to move. And it was so hard, you guys. It was so hard. But then it went away. And then she, you know, when you're doing this, she says, recognize like what your thought, you know, like what comes forward, some of your thoughts. And that's where a lot of people dismiss meditating, because they think like you have to feel a certain way or make certain sounds. It's like, no. And anything can come forward in your intuition. So like if something really you think bananas comes across your brain train, like go with it. When you're new and you don't know, and once you get used to meditating, you'll know, because like you'll tap in right away. And if you're doing shadow work, then you're going to go to that problem or that struggle right away. So the more you do it, it's like muscle memory. It's just like a sport, you know. Once you get on the court, you know, you're in that mode, you know, your body knows what to do. And so I was just like, I had to really like, just really concentrate, and it made me super, super uncomfortable, and it was all in my legs, you know. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's my root chakra. So what's connected to my root chakra? And root is feeling, like safe and secure in your home, you know. And so I just kind of focused on where I thought that might, you know, reside in. And I thought about it for a little bit, and I just was like, no, you know, like I kind of let that thought go and tried to visualize something else that didn't make that thought or that situation that I'm typically are currently going through uncomfortable. And so I just let it come through as much as I could. And then I think after like, what was it, like maybe 10 minutes, I had to move. I was just like, okay, I gotta break it. So I did it. I'd never done it before. But I did it as long as I could. And now knowing what that feels like, that feels so uncomfortable, I can do it again, you know? So it was really interesting to hear her take on that, Teal Swan. So if you don't know who she is, be careful. Make sure you have a lot of time. She has her videos are long, they're extensive. I have to like pause and like rewind, because what she says it just like bitch slaps me, and I'm like, what? I need to hear that again. And sometimes I need to hear it again, and I wrote down a bunch of stuff. So she does what I'm looking, the videos that I was watching today was like how to explore, how to discover your happiness. Ooh. So I want to talk about that next. But I want to pull a card first. Okay? How to explore what makes you happy. So comment on here. And I did that today in my Facebook post, because I pulled a card today at work, and I posted it to, it was a Facebook post from this deck, from the Words to Live By deck. I will be using this deck indefinitely when we talk, but I also like to use other decks. So this deck that I'm going to pull from is the Chakra Insight Oracle. It's got a lot of information regarding the chakras, and what they all represent, what they all mean, where they reside in your body, what's connected. It goes in depth. And if you have watched my chakra videos, I have used this book as well. So it's very informative. It's a great guidebook. It's got a lot of information, and it's an oracle card deck. So it's very inspirational. Okay. So the topic that I want to express here, so keep this under an hour, is how to explore your happiness. Because true happiness is living from your highest self, your true authentic self, your soul self. You'll hear me talk about soul self. When you hear me say soul self, that is your highest self. That is your soul. Your soul goes with you, with all your different bodies that if you believe in reincarnation. I do. I do believe in reincarnation. So that is like your highest self. To live out of that space. Like, I know that I'm not living 100% out of my soul self, but what I have experienced and what I have chosen to go through and to let go, my status right now and the moods that I've been in and the thought processes that I'm in, and it's been like, this is probably the best that I have felt in the last 2 years. I still have some pain. I have wrist pain. I am dealing with that because it's carpo. It is. I'll say it. I'll label it. You know, it might be something else spiritually, but I'm gonna do my best to get to the root cause of that stagnant energy. I tried some numerology manifesting last night. That was really interesting. And tonight I'm gonna try some tapping, some EFT. There's a gal that I know. Okay, so this is for the collective, and the intent is to reveal something to us that I can help interpret and channel the messages regarding how to begin the process of exploring happiness. Creativity. I like this. I love this because I can resonate with this. Creativity. It's blue. And blue is the throat chakra. So we've got crown, third eye, throat chakra, heart chakra, solar plex, sacral, and root. Imagination and expression, originality, passion. Okay, these are all the words that when I think of how to find happiness, this would be like where I would start. So we'll go with passion. Start writing down, just take a list and start writing down what you like to do. You might have to make some couple columns because then we can kind of cross-reference. So in your first column, if you're on board, hello, Sarah. Thank you for watching. Get a notebook out and start making some columns because the first column is going to be what you like to do. Or I guess we could go one step further and do values. So let's do what we like to do. Second column is going to be values. Third thing is what you're good at. And the fourth thing is what you don't like. All right? I'm just trying to ask. Okay, so first column, what you're good at, what your values, what you like, and some of you might be repeating them, that's okay. And then the fourth column is what you don't like, okay? And then, like start prioritizing, you know, put some stars at like some of the things that are like deal breakers, you know, like needs that you have to have in your life. You know, and then start asking yourself like, how did I feel? You know, and then go one step further, start another page, and each one put how you felt with this, and even the don't likes and what we're not so good at. How does that make us feel when we're doing something that we're good at? Or how does that make us feel when we're doing something that we don't like and we do it anyways? Are you people pleasing? You know, should you really be doing it? Is it not good for your health? Maybe it's, you know, immoral. I mean, start really asking yourself those questions. And then if you have stuff that you have in your like column, when was the last time you did that? When was the last time you felt that way? Hello, Tom. Yeah, because maybe you need to start revisiting some of your talents. And maybe you've been just so wrapped up from, you know, the residual COVID, behavior that you just haven't been able to get back into what you used to do. So 2024 is all about abundance. They say it's an 8 year. That's the number 8. It's all about abundance. So if you want more abundance in your life, then get manifesting what you want. Manifesting, I learned, this is what I learned when Teal Swan said it. So she says, there are things, we have affirmations. Affirmation. Hello, Adam. Affirmations are a great way to change your beliefs about yourself, negative beliefs. But you have to own those affirmations. And because she said sometimes when you are thinking a negative thought and you want to reverse it with something positive, there's a lot of resistance that goes on, because to just be able to like do the total opposite, like the 180 of that belief, is very difficult for us to grasp in that very moment. So what she suggested is to look at things that you believe about yourself that you already have. And that will help you think more positively about yourself. So my assignment that I'm going to do is I'm going to write down 100 things about myself that I believe in myself to be true. Because that's my belief. They're not good or bad. They're just what we believe. And that's really going to put me in that like self-love mode. And that's going to be more momentum so that I can keep going on with this, you know, living for my higher self. You know, making decisions based on what is best for my values. And that's a whole nother video too. So the other word on here is imagination, expression, and originality. Originality. Are you working out of your original goals? Are you expressing your soul's desire? And get creative. Imagine. When you want something, when you manifest, this is how manifesting works. When you're manifesting, it helps to write them down, to do a vision board. And that got switched to February 24th, by the way, at our house. So when you're manifesting and you're writing things down, write down like how these things make you feel. So for instance, so like the way that Teal Swan was deep diving it today was you don't like your job. And to reverse it and go, how would you like to feel at your job? And so it was like, you know, appreciated more. So really, it's not that you don't like your job, you just don't like how you feel at your job. Maybe it has nothing to do with the job itself. It's just the way that those particular activities or environments or behaviors or other energies are not making you feel, but it's creating, you know, you to feel less positive about yourself. And so, and I could resonate with that. And so it's like, how do you want to feel? So by saying, you know, I want more money. I want to win the lottery. Well, how would that make you feel? So if there's another result that would make you feel that way, could you accept not the money if you could feel a certain way with regardless of the money? That's where manifesting, you know, comes in really crazy, because we can say that we want this, that, and the other thing, but then we realize how it makes us feel, and then we start feeling that from something else, and if it's enough and we keep feeling that way, we sometimes forget that we don't have what we wanted, because that feeling comes from something else, and maybe we already had that. We just didn't realize how having it made us feel. Let's read from the book. The number's 35, if anybody is a number guru. Become an active steward for the creative inspiration that is ready to come through you. Soften your gaze as you peer at the sky, and a cloud becomes a dragon. Close your eyes in the breeze, and soon a dream begins to rise. Open your spirit to the canvas before you, and the vision of a painting begins to emerge. Like seeds of a fertile garden, we have come here to bring forth life and to create. To open ourselves to the vast creative potential within each moment, and to become vessels for divine energy, to express in full form creativity. Whether we are conscious of it or not, we are continually contributing to the story of life through the way that we think, feel, speak, and act, and through the creations that we bring into the world. So careful what you think about. I know I suffer from intrusive thoughts. So when I have to really be careful of what I allow myself to think of, because I can spiral and it can just, it's OCD. It's coming on strong, but like I said before, it's come on, brings on emotions, and emotions have information. So there's something to deal with when my OCD, when my intrusive thoughts are on the forefront, and they're just like, grr, 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 grr. Hello, Lynette. So it's very hard to do that, but you just have to keep practicing. You just have to keep practicing. and ask for help. Ask your spirit guides for help. Throughout the ages, great masters have recognized creativity as both a doorway into and an expression of the divine. The Latin word, I'm going to murder this, creare, means to cause to exist. Hello, Liz! Suggesting that when we open ourselves to the creative energy within, we are quite literally bringing new life into the world. This is one of our greatest gifts and responsibilities in life. We are each unique creative beings, whether through painting murals, writing poetry, playing music, dancing tango, baking cookies, growing businesses, or growing a garden. The only limits of what we can create are those we impose upon ourselves, our belief systems, or allow others to impose upon us. It is time to expand your experience of your true creative potential. If you are feeling uninspired or creatively blocked, the best first steps is often just to begin. Create a space where you feel open and safe to express. Give yourself time to explore your creativity with no attachment to the outcome. Don't try to control or confine it. No rules or judgment allowed. Just allow yourself to enjoy the process. Let it grow and evolve. It will show you what it wants to be. When we open to the creative essence within, we realize that every task and moment is an opportunity to bring some new energy to life. As we do this consciously in different ways each day, we cultivate the most important and lasting artistic expression of all, ourselves. Open yourself to embody and express your creative potential, no matter what form it takes. Give birth to your ideas. Let them rise into manifest. There's a bug, a ladybug. Thank you. Let them rise into manifest form in the world. Now is the time. Live a little bit of each day in a carefree and creative way. Oh, I like that. I like that. Live a little bit each day in a carefree and creative way. I like that. Okay, so when it says this is one of our greatest gifts and responsibilities in life, I wrote something down that I wanted to share. So Teal Swan was talking about when you kind of like pity party and kind of get scared of your emotions. They can be super intense sometimes. But I wrote this down. It is our responsibility to decide whether the emotional payoff is worth the limitations of the feelings we're holding. So what that means to me is it's our responsibility to own our emotions and to look at what they mean. And because if you don't, those emotions might cause you to react in a way that doesn't serve you. And if you are reactive, you might reacting outward, and it might be harmful to the people around you. Not to mention, it's not resolving anything, from within. And if you want to truly be happy, you have to accept yourself the way it is. And, not everything can be healed 100%, because there's karma. There's karma from our past lives. And there's karma from our ancestral lives. Like there's family karma. So there's things that happened in your, say, parents' lives or past lives that can follow you. And you have this is another video, but there's a term like soul family, so there's certain individuals that are certain things from your soul family that can pass down karmically too. So those are all great ways to look at, why is this going on in my life? You know, why is it still going on in my life? And, you know, pain is a great motivator. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and we were summing up 2023. And I'm like, you know what? I bet like there was an easy way for me to go through what I needed to learn this last year. But I'm stubborn as hell. And I can be a stubborn bitch. And I think, and I asked, show me. I said, because I wasn't getting the messages and I wasn't figuring them out on my own. And so I asked Spirit, I'm like, if you got to bitch slap me, I said, go for it. Let's do this. Let's put the gloves on. And boy, the pain that I had to endure. And because of, I believe that Spirit used my OCD, like he amplified it. Spirit amplified it. And so that I could experience as much pain as I possibly could this last year. But there's pain. You hear me say pain on purpose, because for me, pain is a great motivator. It made me question every thought, every feeling, and I probably overanalyzed. But now that I did do all that and, you know, shed all the tears and looked at, is this how I really feel? You know, and really ask myself those dark questions. Like, is this where I want to be in my life? I'm going to be 50 and, you know, hopefully 30 more good years, you know, cognitive good years, physically able, cognitively good years. So I just kept asking, you know, show me what I need to know. Show me a path. And in order to see that path laid out in front of me that's been there this whole time, I had to like see the dark shit behind me. And I had to grieve that old self. And that's pretty much the year what it was. It felt like every day it felt like somebody I knew close to me had just died. That's what my emotions, there's a bug here. That's what my emotions felt like. It felt like grief, and it was just debilitating. There was days where I had to go home because I was just so in my head that I couldn't do anything else. And now, you know, hindsight's 2020. Now that I know what that felt like, now that I know some of the triggers, you know, like using the word triggers, say stimulators, whatever you want to call it, little taps, taps on the shoulder, reminders, bitch slaps, whatever. Now that I know how those triggers feel in my body, because it happened so often, like I will never forget some of the emotions connected to some of the triggers that I felt, especially at Christmas. And comment on here if you were triggered this last Christmas, because I was triggered last Christmas. But this Christmas wasn't as bad as last Christmas, but there was still some old residual stuff coming up that was like, okay, like you're still reacting like negatively to this. What can you learn? What do you have to let go? Like, so yeah. I guess that's it that I want to say tonight, because it's been an hour. Thanks everybody for watching. There was a lot of activities. I hope you got something out of this. If there's a topic that you would like me to discuss and ramble on and pull cards about, hey, put it on here. So the word tonight, let's use the flow. So if you're still watching, comment on here, flow, and I will put your name in a drawing at the end of January for a discounted reading, or if you want Reiki or a shaman journey from Travis. He needs to get more clients. We are going to manifest the heck out of this business. And the first part of hello. Oh, I love the rainbow. Okay, I'm going to put your name down. I got your name down. I like the rainbow. Cool. The part of manifesting, real quick, I'll say this here, is if you believe in what you're manifesting, if you believe that you deserve it, and it's a desire, it's a true desire, like you're just not manifesting it because for the fun of it, like you truly are connected to the emotion that if you have that, how you will feel, and you're acknowledging that, and you're allowing yourself to feel like you deserve it, it will come true. It will come true. Watch I think it's my video called, it's the power of positivity. And maybe there's like a 2-part law of attraction from a couple years ago. So just go into the search and search for that video, because I talk a lot about when I first started my journey, that was like one of the first things that I was just like so intoxicated, is the power of positivity. And that's where it all started. That's why I'm still here, because that little principle of the power of having a positive state of mind, it changed my life. It changed my life. I'm here to tell you that just that little principle, and practicing it over and over and over, and seeing little smidges, and recognizing, being so self-aware that just the little subtle things, you're like, are you kidding me? Like, I just manifested that. Like I was, and sometimes when you're starting out, Spirit wants to like really mess with you, and you'll be like making a joke about it. Because that's what I did with this deck. It was not a joke, but it was like, I wasn't really serious about it. I said, someday I'm going to have my own Oracle card deck. Because I was really into Colette Baron Reed at the time. I was just into like her videos and watching what she did and her events. And I said as like a joke, someday I'm going to have my own Oracle card deck. Well, it happened. It didn't happen without pain, but it was all on purpose. It was all on purpose. Pain is a great motivator. Thank you all for watching. Watch other videos on here. Comment. Reach out. And don't know what the topic will be next Wednesday. It's always a surprise. And the vision board event, if you are local, will be at my house February, I believe it's 24th at 10 o'clock. It's free. If you feel you need to bring a monetary donation, just a perishable food item if you feel the need, and we will get it to the food pantry. All right, make sure you comment on here, do your homework, and tune in next Wednesday. And stay warm, folks. I know it's hard to get out, but find some time to just get out and get that crisp air in your lungs. It's very cleansing, all right? Unless you have COPD, then don't do that. All right, I love you all. Thanks for watching. See you next week.